Hi, Enis from Never Stop Trucking here. Today we are talking about dispatchers' work hours. I did not think this would be a good topic until recently when I started getting asked this question a lot. Like, what do you think our hours should be and what can we expect? Like, when are we going to be getting calls? And then if we have to be on call the whole time, available, awake at night. So here is my take on that. In United States, the Eastern time zone where I am at now in Michigan, and we're kind of close to the border of that time zone because as you go into Illinois, or even I think one part of Indiana down by Gary, it goes into Central Time. Okay, so Eastern Standard Time is the whole East Coast and down all the way to Florida, and then some of those Midwestern states like Ohio, part of Indiana, part of Kentucky, Carolinas, and down there. So that means that in the morning we start first. Usually, so that could be anywhere from like 7 to 8. That's when we start, and then it goes further on, like to Central Time, and then all the way to California. So that means that we here get up first, and then usually the rest of the country tries to keep up with us. Sometimes, like when you call brokers or trucking companies on the other side of the country, they might still not be at work. But usually bigger companies, they have someone already at work, because even though it may be like 5, 6, 7 their time, but they, because they have to keep up with the rest of the country. Okay, and now if you are somewhere across the world, you're not even in the United States, then in my opinion, you should do the same. You should adjust your working hours to Eastern time zone. Now, when we finish here, let's say we finish at 5 p.m., then, the guys in Chicago, and then you go further to like Utah and California, they will be still working. So my advice to you is to concentrate on the Eastern time zone if you cannot handle, working from 8 to 8, essentially, because that's what it would be. 8 o'clock, 8 a.m. Eastern Time to 8 p.m. Eastern Time, if you want to cover the whole country. But I would just concentrate on Eastern Time. That's what I've been doing because I live in that time zone. And for me, it works well. Sometimes I may get phone calls after 5 p.m. our time, but that's rare, maybe at like 5:30 or 6. And then after that, I don't get phone calls. So either they are watching like what time it is here, they don't want to call, or they might be even finishing up their work at that time, because it gets slower and slower. It has been a standard even here in the city where I live. There are a lot of trucking companies that most companies will work 8 to 5. Okay, if you want to do an average job, you work 8 to 5, maybe even 8 to 4, and then after 4, the phone would forward calls to your cell phone. But if you want to be a really good dispatcher, you should start at 7 Eastern Time and then finish at 6. Now, it doesn't have to be like that every day, because you could, like if you get at 7 a.m. To work, you're gonna be ahead of everyone else. You have a whole hour to be ahead of everyone else, and that it's not just about doing other things, like, because usually there are other things to do, not just dispatching and looking for loads, but especially when you're calling on loads, there are a lot of brokers who get up early. Sometimes they have on-call support, but there are a lot of loads coming up in the morning, and I know some brokers who that's what they do. They get early, they cover their trucks until like 8 a.m. and then they're done. After that, it's just like maintaining, and maybe like if there's something out of ordinary. But I know a few brokers, like if you don't get up at 7, and then you will see their loads popping up around 7:15, 7:30. By 8, these loads are gone, and these are good loads. And then not just the case, it could be with any broker, maybe like brokers that have, you have access to their load boards, and you can book a load through the load board. Then you can book loads that way too. So 7 to 8, that's a really good time. Let's say you have 5 trucks to cover. I guarantee you, if you start at 7 every morning, you're probably gonna cover 2 to 3 trucks by 8, and your drivers are gonna be happy. They have a load first thing in the morning. You're gonna be happy, and it's gonna be easier for you to work afterwards. Now, also, same thing after 5. Between 5 and 6, I sometimes book loads too. Now, let's say it's end of the day, you have not much to do. But you have like 3 or 4 trucks to cover next day, and then you have 2 choices. You can just go home, call it a day, or even if you're working from home, just leave your computer, do your things, or you can just stay a little bit longer after 5. And then I booked so many loads after 5, or around like 10 to 5, or like 5:30, because these other brokers from other time zones might be posting those loads, or even if you go to their load boards, you can also book them there. So if there are no loads for tomorrow, and it's going to be hard to cover them next day, I would suggest you stay a little bit longer, and you should be able to cover those loads. So 8 to 5 is a standard time. But I would suggest that you get up early, and then even if you get up early and cover those trucks and cover the other ones, in the morning, then you can leave at 3 or 4. You can just, shut down your computer and go do your thing. Even leave at 2. So, most of the time I'm ready. I'm finished by noon with my trucks as far as looking for loads. Only if there's a problem, something gets canceled. Maybe I'm looking for tomorrow, or for next couple of days, but usually I'm done, and at around noon I do my invoices. If I have to do the payroll, maybe call on brokers that have not been paying, check out on them, do a YouTube video like this, work on something else, call, go out for a different appointments, have a Zoom meeting or something like that. So that's what I do in the afternoon. I always try to get up early, especially lately. There was a period when I was, like I'm by myself, I'm my own boss, and then I get up at like 10 to 8. But then, by the time you get up and, get your things together, like if you're working from home, it's already 8:10, 8:15. Some, you have like 5 missed calls, and then you're like, oh man, just, give me some time. No, you should be, ready by 7:20, and then you'll be ready for anything that might come in. You'll be better rested. You'll be in better mood if you get up early. Your drivers will notice. They will be thankful. You will look more professional, even to brokers. So there are only good benefits in getting up early. I'm not saying you should get up at like 4 or 5 a.m. like some of these guys on YouTube. If you have another thing going on, then yeah, sure, why not? And then you work on that before you start dispatching. As far as night goes, you make sure before you finish your day that everyone is all set. Okay, if you have drivers driving, maybe give them a check call. Hey, is everything okay? When are you gonna stop? When are you gonna be there tomorrow? Did you get the pickup information? Tonight, there may be a lumper over there, and then call me if you need something, or here's a cash advance for you. If you have your own trucks to cover that lumper, you always plan ahead like that. And then even like if you have a way of tracking your drivers before you go to bed, maybe at night just take a quick glance on your phone or computer, see if everyone is still driving, did they shut down for the day, and then you can plan. Of course, dispatcher should always be available if there's an emergency. The drivers might call you, and then you always have to be available. Now, with I don't know about iPhones. Like if if you have small children, or if you don't want to be disturbed at night, for any reason, with my Android phone, there is an option to set automatic do not disturb time. So in iPhone, I don't know if iPhone has those options, but in the Android system on my Samsung, I set up my do not disturb from 9 p.m. to 7 a.m. and that's my do not disturb. Whoever calls me, my phone will not ring except for the favorites in my contacts. And your favorites are the drivers. I put my drivers in my favorites. Like close family members, close friends. Those people are in my favorites. And then if they call me, then my phone will ring, and I will get the message. But if someone else calls me, then I will not hear it. But I mean, I look at my phone all the time anyway. So, even if you get up at night, then you'll see that someone called you, like just now. And same goes for the weekend. Of course, I'm not on do not disturb on the weekend, but someone might be calling you. You don't have to work on a weekend as a dispatcher. That's rarely ever. Only like people who have big companies, like big trucking companies, they have someone like that's on call, or someone that stays there in the office, answers the phone calls. But usually there is no need to work on a weekend. Maybe if you have a driver that's loading or unloading on a weekend, and they might need help with something, with a pickup number, then of course you have to be available, and have email access on your phone, like wherever you are. Just always bring your phone, that your phone is there close to you. You can't just like go to the beach and then just leave your phone and then don't check it for like 3 hours. You should be checking your phone constantly. It's part of the job. Sorry. I mean, it's not like you have to take it, to bathroom the whole time, but it has to be close to you, and you have to be available to call them back at least within 15-20 minutes, to 30 minutes on a weekend or at night. So those would be your working hours as a dispatcher. Thanks for watching this video. Thanks for liking the videos and subscribing. I'll see you guys around. Have a nice day.